Recently we had a package stolen along with our mailbox being destroyed. Now this is the replacement. It's got electronic sensors, cameras that monitor it, really more of a vault, and the entire thing is held to the ground with over 1,000 pounds of concrete. And this isn't any kind of clickbait, but the story is definitely unusual. Now here in New Hampshire we have a lot of animals, deer, coyotes, even things like bobcats visit us regularly, and these animals don't cause us any trouble. Except for this one. This is a black bear, and we've seen him multiple times on our camera, likes to check things out. He's a pretty regular visitor, and about a year ago our mailbox was actually damaged, but we never could figure out what happened. The top had been partially ripped off along with these couple of holes punched in it. I just figured a truck maybe hit it, but it was enough to have me install a camera. Now even though this image is blurry due to rain, you can see clearly that that bear is walking up to the box. Next morning, this is what we saw. The box was ripped apart, it was completely broken. And normally I grab my packages every single day before I go to bed, but this one day I forgot that there were 2 bags of fertilizer inside the box. One of the bags was partially torn, but the other one was actually ripped apart, and you could see this trail of fertilizer going right into the woods. Now I assume the bear took it. Additionally, I figured he ate it and was probably gonna die. But as you can see here, a week later, he was still happily roaming around. What's worse is the bear was returning to the same box about every 3 nights, probably looking for more food, so I needed to get rid of that old box and build something that was more secure, that was basically bear-proof. My idea was to use a heavy-duty gauge truck box and mount it to a concrete pad. Now this might seem easy, but these boxes can cost as much as $1,000. This is a used one I got on Facebook Marketplace. It has a couple of dents and a little rust inside from old tools. Here I'm clearing out the area. I don't want to get too close to that tree. That thing is old and I don't want to damage the roots, but I do want to put it as close to the wall as I possibly can so that it doesn't get in the way of any type of snow removal. If you're wondering, stupid, why don't you just move this thing up to your house and you don't have to worry about it at all? Well, it's not really that easy. My driveway is over a half-mile long, and if I do that, folks can't make it to my house in the middle of winter. Delivery vehicles don't generally have 4-wheel drive. I'm starting with a simple form along with some gravel at the bottom of the pad. I'm ready for concrete. You've got to remember the average bear pair can weigh up to 400 pounds, and if they're pushing or slamming on the box, I don't want that thing tipping over. So I'm going to put down about 900 pounds of concrete. These are 80-pound bags, and I actually got 10 bags that I'm going to mix up. I'm going to be testing out a new concrete mixing tool called the Mud Mixer. You might have seen this in other videos. It is a pretty cool tool. You simply put dry bags of concrete in the top of the machine, it mixes them with water automatically, and essentially you're like a mini concrete plant. Now if this thing was closer to water, I would have brought the mud mixer right down to where the pad is, but because of the distance, I'm going to mix it and put the finished concrete in the bucket of my Bobcat and take it down to where the concrete form is. Now for those of you who've watched me for a while and you're wondering what happened to my Kubota, that tractor has now been sold, and this 2015 Bobcat Toolcat is my primary machine. I will be doing a full video on this explaining why I made the change. This was my very first time using this mud mixer, but it did a good job. I have some other concrete projects I'm going to be doing later in the season, and I'll show this machine in more detail. But with it ready, I just needed to get it into the form. Now here's the problem, the bucket is wider than the form, so I went at an angle and thought this would work well, but it didn't really go as easy as I thought. So I just eventually stood up on the wall, used the shovel, and I got the concrete into the form. And with the aggregate, there's over 1,000 pounds of weight in this base, so I don't think this is going anywhere short of a truck ramming into it. With the form filled, I needed to smooth out the top, and that's called screeding using that board. Let the concrete dry so I could remove the forms, and the end result came out okay. This is certainly not a gorgeous concrete job, but it is the pad for a mailbox, but it's heavy and solid and it should do the job. But I've got to attach that metal box securely to this pad, and that will be done by drilling 24 holes into the bottom of the truck box. And these will be used to attach 24 concrete anchors into pre-drilled holes into that pad. And with my hammer drill ready along with my anchors, we've got to just bring the box down to the location and start the drilling and screwing process. Now some of you out there might be a type of tough guy and not need hearing protection, but go ahead and stick your ear inside one of these boxes without it, and you're going to find out how loud drilling concrete really can be. I started with one complete hole, meaning I drilled the hole, vacuumed it out, and attached a screw. This is just to prevent the box from shifting around. Then I went ahead and drilled the other 23 holes, vacuuming out each one, so that I could then install the anchors. Now I do like these anchors, they're very heavy duty. Should be more than enough to keep this thing secure. I don't think this is going anywhere. This is
This is going nowhere.
I'll do some light finish work just to cover up the bottom of the base, and now the box overall I think looks pretty good, at least for a mailbox. And no matter what kind of mailbox you have, even a regular roadside one, how do you know if you have mail? Do you just run down all day long? Well, I don't want to do that anymore with this package box. Instead, I'm going to use this X-Sense sensor. Now this thing is specifically designed for mailboxes. It's got a couple of different settings along with a light sensor. If somebody bumps this thing or opens the lid, it actually sends an alert to my phone. It does this without Wi-Fi. It uses a type of radio transmissions to a gateway that you install in your house, but it can transmit about 1,000 feet. Additionally, I've got this Reolink self-contained camera. It's solar powered, uses a cellular card, so unfortunately you do have to pay for a plan, but if you don't have any type of Wi-Fi that reaches this spot, that's the only choice you can have. It also doubles as a driveway monitor. Anytime it picks up motion, it can trigger your phone. I can truly say I've never had a package stolen by an animal before, and certainly not a black bear, and I don't want to have that happen again. You really don't want to encourage animals to keep coming back to a location repeatedly. That will be bad for them and for you. Now this may be overkill for a mailbox, but I'm hoping this installation stays exactly as you see it for years to come, and I don't ever have to think about it again. If you found this video useful or you had better ideas on this installation, be sure to leave me a comment below. And please subscribe to the Silver Symbol channel if you're not already for more videos coming up.